welcome to the Elusive Truth with Rich and Larry. Today's episode is on this crazy solar eclipse on April 8th. I'm sure you've heard about it. Now, this will give my age away a little bit, but last time I remember hearing about solar eclipses, it was all about eye safety. Don't stare at that sun. The moon's passing over it, and you're going to burn your eyes right out. And that's pretty much the extent of it. It's been happening for millennia, and I remember hearing or being taught that back in the day, people would freak out because a solar eclipse, it's the gods, it's coming of Christ, it's a whole bunch of stuff happening. So, this year, it's gotten crazy. But let me first start off with a little press briefing from NASA, just to kind of give you what's going to happen on April 8th, or actually what you should do on April 8th while viewing the solar eclipse. Have a listen.
Coming total solar eclipse on April 8th. During today's press conference, you'll learn more about what to expect during the eclipse, how you can participate, how NASA and government agencies will use the eclipse to advance science, and how to view it safely. Today's participants include NASA Administrator Bill Nelson. Hence, we will gladly take questions from the media. Now I'll hand it over to Administrator Nelson to kick us off.
Good morning. I've often said that at NASA, our mission is for all humanity, and that's because space brings us together. There's no better proof than moments like this, a total solar eclipse. It's a moment when millions of people across North America will look to the heavens as the moon passes in front and between the sun and the earth. And it's a rare sight that we haven't seen in 7 years. And unusual things start to happen as the normal rhythms of Earth are disrupted. When you're seeing this eclipse, you ought to observe this. As the day appears to turn to dusk and then dark, people have heard birds stop singing. They've seen giraffes suddenly begin to gallop. Roosters start crowing, and crickets chirp. So watch for these unusual behaviors. And we encourage you to help NASA observe the sights and sounds around you. Eclipses have a special power. They move people to feel a kind of reverence for the beauty of our universe. Their power is not only to unify us on Earth, but to further science and discovery. In 1919, Albert Einstein's theory of gravitational bending was proven when scientists measured how stars shift when the sun is blocked out by the moon. And today, over a century later, a total solar eclipse still brings great opportunity in science. Safety is always NASA's number one priority, and that remains true for this solar eclipse. Make sure you have the proper eye protection, like the eclipse glasses. And as you look at the heavens on April the 8th, when the eclipse starts, please put those glasses on.
There you have it, folks. NASA telling you, put them protective eyewear on, and we're all good to go. Nothing to see here, move along. But unfortunately, we live in clown world, and you've probably been hearing about all the crazy stuff going on. Larry was supposed to be with us today, but he's too busy mining silver for the upcoming collapse of civilization, and you gotta have silver. Oh, my goodness. That's just the smallest fraction. I don't know if you really know what's going on. I've been hearing all sorts of crazy stuff. So let's get into this. Clown World, here we are. April 8th, 2024, solar eclipse. Have a listen.
The FAA is predicting peak travel records starting today through next week. But it's not just traditional spring break vacations crowding the skies. A significant number of people are also traveling to catch a better glimpse of the total solar eclipse. According to NASA, more than 31 million people live in the 200-mile path where the phenomenon will be visible on April 8th. Joining me now to discuss is Marissa Garcia. She is an aviation journalist and senior contributor at Forbes. Great to have you with us. I want to start with asking you how much all this excitement around the eclipse could really disrupt or impact travel.
Well, it will be significant because there are going to be a lot of aircraft flying. The FAA expects over 57,000 flights that day. It's very exciting. Of course, it's an event that takes place very rarely. It's been 7 years, so it's understandable. A lot of people want to get out there and see it in person. But that means that parking lots will be pretty busy at the airports, as people will also be going to the airports to see it. It's going to be hectic but fun.
Yeah, and I want to ask you, Marissa, as well about the path here, because it is about 200 miles. So walk us through the hot spots. Where will people actually be headed?
Well, it will start with San Antonio, Texas, and then it will be heading northeast. But the big hotspot will be that it will also be falling on Dallas-Fort Worth Airport, which is American Airlines' hub. So that will be a big disruption. It won't last very long wherever it is. In total, it's 1 hour and 10 minutes of event. But it's going to still, I'll have a lot of pilots as well that are going to be flying private to airports along the way. So it'll be busy.
And Marissa, how can people prepare? What's the best way to try to avoid a travel disruption?
Well, they may not be able to avoid a travel disruption. That's going to be up to the FAA's best efforts. But the best thing that people can do is just pack their patience. Go with the mindset that it's going to be busy and try to travel, pack light, pack carefully. Don't take any prohibited items with you in your bag so you don't have a problem trying to clear security. And just behave, be patient and pleasant with everyone, because everyone's going to be under a lot of stress. And the FAA is going to be very wary of passengers being disruptive.
Yeah, some good reminders there. Marissa Garcia, thank you.
Okay, now we have our first piece of advice. Stay away from airports, and if you have to travel, try not to do it in a plane. It's just going to be crazy. And if you have to, just it's going to take a little bit longer. Have some patience. Wow. That's it? Oh, no. There's more? Okay. Have a listen.
NASA has unveiled plans to launch 3 scientifically oriented rockets into the moon's shadow on Monday, April the 8th, coinciding with a partial solar eclipse spanning North America. During this celestial event, which will feature a total solar eclipse along a 115-mile-wide path across parts of Mexico, 15 U.S. states and Canada, and a partial eclipse throughout the Americas, there will be a noticeable decrease in sunlight. NASA's initiative, dubbed Atmospheric Perturbations Around the Eclipse's Path, also known as APEP, aims to explore the effects of this decrease in sunlight and temperature on the Earth's upper atmosphere. APEP draws its name from the ancient Egyptian mythological serpent deity, a nemesis of the sun god Ra, as per NASA, Forbes has reported. APEP, an ancient Egyptian deity, symbolized darkness and chaos, serving as the adversary of light, and Ma'at, which represents order and truth. Ra, on the other hand, represented illumination, making him the primary antagonist of APEP. The suborbital rockets will not ascend into totality, but will instead launch from Wallops Flight Facility on Wallops Island, Virginia, where 81% of the sun will be obscured by the moon. This event is slated to occur at 3:33 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Can you believe that? NASA is shooting rockets at the solar eclipse? And all this talk about Egyptian deities and sun gods and... Oh, my goodness. Well, this is just getting crazy. This is just the tip. Here, have a listen. It's getting worse.
For a lot of students, canceling school is exciting as is.
I'm excited to not be at school, but at the same time, really happy that our city gets to see this.
Add a total solar eclipse to the day off, and that's a once-in-a-lifetime experience.
Really excited to experience something super rare.
Lake Travis ISD announcing it's closing its doors on April 8th for the eclipse.
We're expecting a lot of people, and that's likely an understatement.
After talking with county officials and first responders, the district says it has some concerns about what the influx of people will mean for local infrastructure.
Traffic gridlock, the start of the school day could be an issue for our campuses. Of course, pickup, right? Dismissal also could be a real challenge.
Even teachers were already submitting time off requests for the big day.
We knew already going into this day, potentially we were going to have a need for substitute teachers and a need for volunteers at the campus level. So there were just a lot of operational considerations.
Without class on the day of the eclipse, the district says it plans to teach about it beforehand.
There are going to be some classroom lessons leading up to the event over the next few weeks. Lots of excitement already about the eclipse. And so this is just a great opportunity for our families to be together.
It's a chance to learn a lesson outside the classroom.
I'm really excited to experience it with my dogs and stuff because I wonder what they're going to think about it. And then if I could FaceTime my friends also, I feel like it might be really fun to do it not on campus.
As for schools, okay, some of them are going to be closing for this celestial event, and Texas State University is joining the growing list of schools pausing classes for the day during the Great American Eclipse because, frankly, this is a once-in-a-lifetime thing for us.
Yeah, they want everybody to see it. The university is right in the path of totality, according to NAPAS's website, that is expected to happen at 1:35 p.m. Texas State will pause classes from noon till 2 on Monday, April 8th. Also, Seguin ISD announced it's canceling classes just totally for the day.
It may be a month away, but many people are already looking ahead to the solar eclipse on April 8th. Livingston Public Schools sent a letter home to parents that they will dismiss students early that day as the eclipse could happen during the normal dismissal time. This way, kids aren't outside and potentially looking at the sun without protection. Now, the elementary schools and the high school will let out at noon. The middle schools will dismiss at 12:45. Outdoor activities will be halted from 2:30 to 4:30. The eclipse will be best seen among the East Coast between 3 and 4 p.m.
Yeah, we can't wait for this to happen.
Remember the last time you got to get that box thingy so you don't hurt your eyes,
Well, they have glasses, online that you can just...
Oh, that's right. They have the glasses now. All right.
But we're excited about this because we're going to have some special coverage for you. More on that to come.
Yeah, as long as it's not cloudy or raining even, because, it never rains around here a lot.
You know what? I want to say this much about a total solar eclipse. Even if it's cloudy, you still will get the effect. I mean, it goes from day to night. Okay. I mean, if it's not cloudy, you can literally see stars for about 3 minutes. I'm told, I've never seen one. This will be my first one. I'm told it's a life-changing experience.
Away from a total solar eclipse, and now the National Guard is being called in to help with all the extra tourists. McCurtain County requested the help as thousands of people are expected to flood into southeastern Oklahoma to see that eclipse. Officials in McCurtain County, with a population of 30,000, expect upwards of 100,000 people to visit, which could put an obvious strain on resources. The Oklahoma Highway Patrol and Choctaw Nation are also helping prepare. It'll be a busy time for sure.
Boy, it is.
In less than a month, the solar eclipse will captivate Central Texans. And just like the event in October, Central Texas towns anticipate thousands of visitors to visit. So much so Travis County declared an emergency today in advance. KXAN's Mercedes Hernandez looks at the eclipse's impact still weeks away.
With just weeks until the sun goes dark,
it is a natural phenomenon, and we can't control the weather around it. So there's a lot of variables.
Travis County Judge Andy Brown says the county wants to prepare for visitors like these. to flood into central Texas.
The thing is, we just don't know exactly how many people are coming. And so that's one reason why we entered this order.
With central Texas in the path of totality, the county expects large crowds and increased traffic during the eclipse. This emergency declaration aims to ease strains on roadways, first responders, and hospitals.
And that's really why we're doing this today, is to require people who are having events of 50 people or more to register with our fire marshal's office to tell us, so that we have a more scientific understanding of how many people are coming.
The eclipse is going to be a really unique event, and we have such a unique and beautiful surroundings here.
With plenty of time left, Brown wants locals mindful when the big day dawns.
Prepare just like you would for any big weekend here in Travis County, and we're asking people to try to stay off the roads on the day of the eclipse.
In Austin, Mercedes Hernandez, KXAN News.
Ahead of the solar eclipse on April 8th, at least one other Texas county has declared an emergency ahead of the eclipse, a Bell County judge issuing that order in February.
Well, that doesn't sound so bad. I mean, schools closing, lots of traffic, National Guard being called out in certain places, declarations of emergency already being laid out. Just crazy, though, for an eclipse. And now we turn to the crazy stuff. And what I mean by that, I'm sure you've heard they want you to make sure you have gasoline in your cars, just in case there's any disruption in our day-to-day lives. You should have a couple weeks of food, just in case. I mean, they said that my power might go out, your cell service might go out, internet might be down. Oh, you know what that will do? I'll drive everybody nuts. Best thing to do is prepare a little bit if they're right. Most likely it'll be just another good old day here. But wow, what if it isn't? What if it is coming true? The prophecies, end of times here. I've heard all sorts of crazy things. And the latest that I found out today, do you know there is a thing called the Devil Comet that's supposed to be hanging around? Oh my goodness. Solar eclipses. Like we mentioned before, we're talking about Egyptian gods and mythical monsters, and oh my, it's nuts. And now for the next piece of craziness in clown world. You ever heard of CERN? Well, I guess they're starting back up. Have a listen.
Scientists working at the Large Hadron Collider operated by CERN have made public the anticipated scheduling of the initial interactions between proton beams on April 8th, following the completion of all machine assessments and adjustments. Subsequently, the substantial experiments carried out by CERN, which entail the collision of proton particles, will be able to recommence their scientific activities for data collection and analysis. Many individuals within the realm of social media have brought attention to the forthcoming total solar eclipse scheduled to occur on Monday, April 8th, 2024. This celestial event is projected to traverse North America, making its passage over countries such as Mexico, the United States, and Canada. The initial phase of the total solar eclipse is set to commence above the South Pacific Ocean. In the event of favorable weather conditions, the point of first contact with totality on the North American continent is predicted to be along Mexico's Pacific coastline, occurring at approximately 11 in the morning. Numerous individuals have commented concerns regarding the potential negative outcomes, suggesting that scientists may be overstepping their bounds by engaging in these experimental pursuits, likening it to playing the role of a deity. In the sphere of speculative science fiction and theoretical physics, the intriguing concept of accessing a portal using the Large Hadron Collider has sparked the interest of numerous enthusiasts. Various hypotheses suggest that the immense energies released during particle collisions within the Large Hadron Collider might potentially lead to the formation of subatomic black holes or wormholes, which are transient phenomena with the potential to act as gateways to alternate dimensions or parallel universes. This idea has captivated the minds of scientists and science fiction aficionados alike, prompting deeper explorations into the realms of possibility and the underlying fabric of the universe, with its infinite mysteries waiting to be unraveled. In a theoretical situation, if particles collide within the Large Hadron Collider, it has the potential to create a microscopic black hole, a space in the fabric of the universe where gravitational pull is immensely intense, preventing any form of light from escaping. These transient black holes, although harmless, present an opportunity to gain crucial insights into the workings of gravity and the foundational forces governing our cosmos. The possibility of generating these tiny black holes in such high-energy collisions opens a window to explore the nature of gravity and its interactions with other fundamental aspects of the universe in a controlled setting. In a different hypothetical situation, the Large Hadron Collider has the potential to unintentionally generate a wormhole, an imagined passage through the fabric of space-time linking far-flung areas of the universe. Wormholes are currently only conjectural constructs, yet their theoretical ability to expedite travel beyond the speed of light or open up avenues for communication over vast cosmic expanses renders them a captivating topic for scientific investigation. The concept of a wormhole, if brought into existence by the collider, could revolutionize our understanding of the universe and the laws of physics.
That was from Unexplained Mysteries. Go check out their channel. Go check out that piece. It goes on and on and on. Explains a lot more. But wow. So this is where the black holes and portals come into play. Apparently we're supposed to see some big portal open up next to the solar eclipse. That's going to start, God only knows. Oh my. Anyway, we're going to move on and we're going to go see our friend Tony, Sail Daddy. He's got a couple things to say about this crazy eclipse. Once again, have a listen.
Some interesting things are coming our way, my friends. This is Tony. Hope you're all doing well. We're going to be getting into what's going on with regards to April 8th, solar eclipse. And it's actually much more than you may realize. There's even a devil's comet coming at the exact same time. And you're not going to believe the amount of stuff is all behind, of course, this. Of course, they're talking about stocking about food. They're talking about a number of things with regards to this, even closing down schools and much more. Solar phenomena is going to be very high during this time in April. Interestingly, if you look at it from a scientific aspect, during the solar eclipse, apparently we don't understand solar eclipses very well. There's even a scientific experiment that they've never figured out, even up till today, 100 years after they essentially learned about this. The Foucault pendulum, mathematical mystery, never yet solved, which has to do with when there's a solar eclipse, it changes its direction partially, I think about 5% angle or something like that. A small percentage of the angle change during a solar eclipse. Now, if you understand what the Foucault pendulum is, it's supposed to be something that follows the spin of the Earth, yet they don't, for some reason, it changes its direction during a solar eclipse. That's kind of weird. So apparently they're even talking that during a solar eclipse, when the sun darkens over America, it could cause power to go out. And they're talking about a lot of other things, even handing out pamphlets about this, or GOV is in some place. We're going to get into all this and much more. The reason why I mentioned the Foucault pendulum is because I believe that we're living in an electromagnetic universe, and we just simply don't understand how things work. Now, with regards to the solar eclipse, that's one example. We have a solar eclipse here, and this is from CBS. Could impact power. Here's why. They don't even fully understand how a solar eclipse works. The upcoming solar eclipse on April 8th will darken the sky for millions as the moon passes in front of the sun. And again, they say the moon passes in front of the sun, but let me show you something interesting about this. They'll show you things like this, but this is not accurate. You don't actually see the moon passing in front of the sun. What you see is the shadow of the moon in front of the sun. You don't actually see the moon literally go in front of the sun. It's like similar to a reverse projection, as if you were in front of, like if you're in a movie theater and you're the guy running the projector and you stick a little penny in front of the projected camera and you see a little like silhouette shadow of the penny on the screen. That's basically what you're seeing when you look at a solar eclipse. You're not actually seeing, you can't actually watch the moon go literally in front of the sun. That's something people don't understand either. There's also other strange things as well. And we're going to get into something about another thing that happened, a very important historical thing that happened during the middle of the day when the sun darkened as well in a second. And this is what I'm saying. So we live in an electromagnetic universe. The solar eclipse actually affects sort of like maybe the magnetic surroundings. You see that with the Foucault pendulum. You see it with also humans and animals have some perception with regards to magnetic. This, I think, is what is affecting these animals. Just like I said with this Foucault pendulum back here, changing directions during a solar eclipse, they still have yet to have been able to explain this. They even tried to make experiments to sort of debunk that there was any significant impact from it by trying to put a Foucault pendulum deep in the earth to see if it would still happen, and it still happened. So the sun doesn't even have to be anywhere shining on the Foucault pendulum. It could be way deep in the earth and it still affects it because I think it's electromagnetic in properties. So I think what we're seeing here is something that we fully don't understand. In reality, there's much more to this than we realize. So of course, with regards to the fact that it crosses all these places in America, which is really interesting. Apparently, the one back in October goes through a ton of Salem. There's a number of Salem locations, like 8 Salem locations, that the one back in October right here goes through. This one was from 7 years ago. This one was from last year in October. This one is April 2024. And so you end up having this alpha being put over America. Let's just check out some of these articles. So you have this article here, America's power grid at risk of buckling this winter. So this was something from last year. They've been talking a lot about this in a lot of stories. We've went through some of these stories here on my channel where they're talking about the power grid. Oh, we don't got enough power. And then they talk about things like climate change and other things is affecting it, right? And then, of course, now we have apparently a number of schools as well closing, scheduling changes, cancellations, plans for the eclipse. So some Pittsburgh area school districts eyeing schedule changes, cancellations, schedule errands, appointments early, cash on hand, buy necessary groceries and gas, expect heavy traffic. Remember to have cash. No, what if your card doesn't work, right? You know, that kind of thing. There's actually a lot more. We're going to get into a ton of stuff. There's actually more. There's a lot of things I could show you on here. Actually, I don't even know if I showed you this. Let me show you this. This is rather interesting. Now, if you look at basically throughout history, whenever there was something like the Revolutionary War, the Civil War, back in our past of America, there were a number of solar eclipses right around that time frame. Even the Vietnam War, there was like 3 of them right around that time. They usually have clusters of them during these things, these historical things that happened in our past. And this goes way back in history. You can go back 500 years and see the exact same pattern, like Spanish wars, things like that, happening during, multiple blood moons in a row, or there's multiple solar eclipses. And this was an example right here from ancient times, from the Book of Esther, when they had I guess you would say world, power type of struggle thing going on. They had the exact same celestial season as we have today, meaning the exact same days when they had solar eclipses. March 25th, April 8th, September 18th, October 2nd. Now, again, even during the time of Jonah, I showed you that Nineveh, I showed you all that stuff. That was also during a solar eclipse as well. If you look down here, actually right down here where you can't see, there's a Jonah down here. There's actually a Jonah, Texas down here. There's a Nineveh down there. There's 3 Ninevehs here. There's a Rapture, Indiana. There's an Ark. All in the line of almost totality for this. They're not perfectly in totality. These are actually on the edge beyond totality. I think the Ark is outside the totality slightly. Rapture, Indiana is in the totality. Jonah went to Nineveh to tell them to turn, of course, away from what they were doing. And we're seeing all these things happening right now. And Jonah also had that happen in his time. The eclipse took place around when Jonah arrived to Nineveh. And they had 40 days after that before the thing was going to happen. If you add 40 days to April 8th, you come to Pentecost in May. It's very strange. It makes you wonder, what is this all about? And of course, also you have these stories telling you to get ready for this eclipse coming up. And let me actually get into this one. This one was also really interesting as well. This is in Newsweek. How to see the once-in-a-lifetime devil comet in April, looking literally like a falling or shooting star, happening around the exact same time as this solar eclipse. the size of Mount Everest in size, according to what they're saying. Over 10 kilometers in diameter. Visible in the night sky, now won't swing by Earth again for decades. Okay, so it won't be around for another 70 years, or I think it's 70 years after this it will come back. So we're having a total solar eclipse on April 8th, and then this Devil's Comet will make a rare appearance during this total solar eclipse. What is going on here? You know what I mean? This is like really... You also have this solar phenomena will be near its peak when this all occurs. It's like, what? So the question is, what does this all mean? Obviously something big. I think this is something big, folks. Interestingly, also, if you look at Micah 5, it talks about a ruler coming out of Bethlehem, and he will rule over the cities of Nimrod. He will rule over the land of Nimrod. Nineveh was part of the land of Nimrod, by the way. And this is going through all these Ninevehs. So it's just kind of interesting why that's the case. We're in the year of the open door. We're also in the year of the dragon. There's also these ancient stories that reveal every 500 years, according to you've heard of the Dead Sea Scrolls? They have these ancient scrolls that were found some years ago. One of them talks about Onas. Every 500 years, there is a section of time where then power, of course, changes. Every 500 years, the potential is there. This is something that was well known in ancient history. Even King Arthur knew about this. Let me show you that. Prophecy of Merlin and Two Dragons. Apparently the way it works is it's sort of symbolized by two dragons fighting. A red dragon, like the great red dragon you see in Revelation, the white dragon. The white dragon is the good dragon. And you have a struggle, of course, in the world during these every 500 years. The last one was during King Henry VII, which was around 1500 AD, 1520 AD or something like that, in that range. So it was about 500 years ago, almost exactly. This one, during King Arthur, was at around 510, 520 AD. The white dragon won. The red dragon was considered evil. The white dragon is considered good. And to make it very clear, this is something, it was even in the good book itself. Let me show you that. In the book of Esther, there was a chapter removed called Mordecai's Dream, where it talks about two dragons fighting. Esther is the one who saved her country. And I think it was a turning point in the world. And in the dream, it talks about world, of course, powers, struggling. A good dragon versus an evil dragon. King Arthur himself even references this chapter from Esther that was mysteriously removed for some reason. I wonder why it was removed. Maybe they don't want you to know about this. So we're actually in that time right now. We're in the year of the dragon. This is a 500 years one. We're actually in a time frame that's very unique, where we have solar eclipses lining up perfectly with Book of Esther. It makes you wonder what's going to happen this year. Could this be something positive, a positive change to a white dragon for another 500 years? Sounds good to me. I'm kind of sick of the red dragon. How about you guys? You liking all the stuff that's been going on in the last 2, 3, 500 years? You know what I mean? All the stuff that's been going the last decade particularly has not been good, right? Wouldn't you like it to be a little bit more positive, right? Wouldn't it be a little bit nicer? So hopefully this is what we're seeing here, folks. Maybe this is what it means. I don't know. I guess you could just listen to Neil deGrasse Tyson. He'll just tell you it's just an eclipse. It doesn't mean anything. You know what I mean? Or you can listen to me. I just tell you what I find, let you think and figure it out for yourself.
I had no idea that such things could happen during a solar eclipse. We just go out there, put our little eyepieces on, try to witness it, and wow, gets a little dark, gets light again, and we move on with the rest of our lives. This one, everybody says it's going to be crazy, but we've heard this kind of stuff before. So all I can say is you might want to take a little caution, get some supplies just to be safe, because people are nuts. And it's going to be nuts, I'm telling you. Look what's going on. It's crazy. With that, I just want you to do some more research on your own. There's so much on this. dragons and Egyptians and gods and wormholes and portals and whatever's happening with CERN. I mean, you can't make this stuff up. I just wish things were a lot easier. But they'll get easier or better if we stick together. And with that, I want you to keep looking for that elusive truth, because we all need it. And God does love you. I love you. Stay strong. Keep them high vibrations up. And don't forget, we've got to take care of each other. I am sure you would want to be better prepared in case something does go crazy. That's all you can do. But look into this. Keep yourself safe. Keep your family safe. Keep your friends safe. Do what you can. Be proactive. That's the best thing. Don't put your head in the sand like an ostrich. And sadly, there'll be many people that do that. Not us. We're the good ones. Got to keep the fight up. Got to make things happen. We're going to be in a better situation. We have to be. Like I said, Clown World, it's fun to enter, but man, it's not fun when you can't get out. And I can't see the exit so far. If everything goes good, you'll have another elusive truth coming out next week. I'm still trying to get Larry. He's supposed to be giving us some helpful insights on how to navigate through all this mess. And I'm just letting you know, God loves you. We love you. You got to keep your minds open. Higher vibrations, higher frequencies, higher vibrations. Keep everybody safe. And God willing, we'll see you next week. So take care. And we'll see you soon. Bye-bye.